What's going on, fam? A massive welcome back to the channel and to this video. I'm going to be talking today about the difference between, well, apparently good and bad calories and what they actually are. Because believe it or not, this is something that is still like of hot topic slash debate in the health and fitness world. There's people that are literally hell-bent on trying to bring the message that there is such a thing as bad calories and all calories aren't created equal and this sort of stuff. So I'm going to be dropping some science on you today. This is going to be a massively complex video or anything like that. I will be quoting some studies and shit like that, as well as just helping you to really understand how simple this shit is and therefore the perception that you should have in terms of how to approach it as you go about making sense of it, and obviously, well then, yeah, going after the mad aesthetics and holy grail that is looking awesome, feeling awesome, and yeah, loving life. So let's get stuck into the content.
Sometimes all you need is a spark, maybe just a better kind of bitter.
So first up, what we're going to look at is a calorie a calorie? So I'm going to be reading for you guys here some insights in terms of a study that was published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. You can check out the link just below in the description. And basically, obviously, they give some context in terms of various diets and stuff like that. And they've got their different tables of study literature. I'm just scrolling to the point here that I want to read. So obviously, calories, right? In terms of if you're not aware of what they are, a calorie by its simplest definition is a unit of energy and is equivalent to 4.184 absolute joules. In the popular press and in the labeling of food products in the United States, a food calorie actually refers to a kilocalorie or 1000 cal. That is, 1 food cal equals 1 kcal, or the amount of energy needed to raise 1 kilo of water from 15 degrees to 16 degrees Celsius. So from a thermodynamic point of view, a calorie is of course a calorie. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy can be neither created nor destroyed, but only transformed. Thus, the human body is constantly transforming energy, in this case kilocalories, by combusting foodstuffs to produce heat. Although this concept is widely held today, our knowledge of life as a combustion process is limited to the last 2 to 3 centuries. So in other words, when it comes to calories, it's exactly that, a unit of energy, right? Now, from a simple point of view, what you need to understand is it's kind of like a calorie will always be a calorie. It's a unit of measurement, right? Like it's kind of like how we, like measure other things. A liter will always be a liter. Like a kilometer will always be a kilometer. What's different though is the kind of way that you're assessing it. Like, a kilometer, right? You might run a kilometer. You might go fucking hands and knees on the floor, and you might, bear crawl your way that kilometer. You might swim a kilometer. You might run a kilometer. You might fucking handstand it and go all the way along, right? Either way, that kilometer is always a kilometer, but what's going to be different is your amount of time taken to actually, well, go along with that kilometer, right? Same deal here in terms of calories, right? A calorie will always be a calorie, but what's going to vary, right, is, as you would have heard there, like as the body utilizes that energy and combusts it to utilize it in various forms, obviously what's different in terms of what will, I guess, kind of bring about the whole notion that is good or bad foods, which we're going to talk about shortly, right? When it comes to calories though, what we need to understand is that what's different is the amount of time that it will take the body to be able to, utilize said calories, right? So you're probably aware of something called the thermic effect of food, right? Or thermic effect of feeding, right? Which is basically the energy that your body burns to break down food. This is something that people think of when it comes to, what they're kind of saying, but without even knowing when it comes to hashtag good and bad calories. So what's perceived as good calories, right, is nutrient rich food, yeah? But then usually what happens is that when people are thinking about bad calories, right, is that they're thinking of processed food, that the body can't use the calories, that it's what's going to make us fat and that sort of thing, right? Which is all kind of flawed, to be honest, because once you understand that calories are always calories, right, it's just a means of when it comes to the food source, like they've got, when you look at this study, it's fucking awesome. Like, it's just pages and pages of cool shit. But one of the things that they touched on was the difference between, like, say for example, they compared 2 different sort of scenarios of people who had a high fiber diet and consuming lots of nutrient dense food, while varying sort of amount of people had a low fiber diet with processed foods but hitting the same amount of calories. there was massive differences in terms of body composition, right? As well as energy expenditure, as well as how they were feeling, right? Which naturally is pretty common sense, because if you're predominantly eating nutrient-dense food, right? Naturally you're going to feel good, you're going to perform well, you're going to have great biomarkers, you're going to have a zest for life, you're going to be happy and healthy, right? But if all you eat is shit quality, nutrient poor food, right? Well, then no wonder why, you know, you struggle to adhere to a deficit. No wonder why all this sort of stuff, like, it's just common sense, right? Quality of food matters. Now, let's see here. I wanted to touch on one thing here. It's not the one. Other explanations for weight loss. So the touch there on calories once again. So it's like what they concluded was that for fat loss or weight loss to any degree, someone must be in a deficit, because that's obviously how thermodynamics works. When someone eats the same amount of calories that their body requires, so that their body burns, right? Well, then you're naturally going to pretty much maintain your current body weight. But obviously when it comes to creating any sort of reason for the body to let go of fat, to some degree, you need to be in a deficit. So in other words, consuming less calories than what your body requires to maintain. That's all the deficit is, right? And then obviously if you're looking to to build muscle, well, naturally you want to kind of see that climb up a bit more in terms of, well, gradually enter into a surplus, right? So with their conclusion, we conclude that a calorie is a calorie. From a thermodynamic point of view, this is clear because the human body, or indeed any living organism, cannot create or destroy energy, but can only convert energy from one form to another. In comparing energy balance between dietary treatments, however, it must be remembered that the units of dietary energy are metabolizable energy and not gross energy, right? And what they also wanted to add there is, in addition, we can see that the substitution of one macronutrient for another has been shown in some studies to have statistically significant effect on the expenditure half of the energy balance equation. Meaning that if you're someone who, like, what they mean there basically is that if you are, say for example, consuming decent protein, but then very high carb, low fat, usually there'll be a difference to people that, say for example, have low protein but then really high fat or really high carbs while meeting the same calories, right? So in other words, macronutrients matter, food sources matter, but a calorie will always be a calorie. It is always a unit of measurement, right? So don't stress about the whole notion that is good and bad calories. If I were you, and this is something that's actually taught in the National Dietary Guidelines, right? Get some moderation and balance and variety around all your food sources. So in other words, getting in nutrient-rich foods, they're going to metabolize better. It's going to make you fuller for longer because of, well, the complex carbs, the complex nutrients and stuff like that. And then naturally, nutrient-poor food, it tastes fucking awesome, but it's not going to give you energy for long because, well, it's refined, right? So it's when we have that nice balance between both that allows us to be able to feel awesome, to perform well, and naturally be able to maximize our calories the best, right? From my own experience, I've found that when I've tried to be hashtag 100% clean, I would just usually think about and fucking be obsessed with the nutrient poor food, the hashtag YOLO food, and I would usually binge on it, right? And then naturally, if all you're eating is nutrient poor food, you're naturally not gonna, well, feel awesome, and therefore, well, yeah, you'll just gain weight, you'll move further backwards. So yeah, there you go, nice and simple. If you have any questions around calories or flexible dieting or how to just build like a better relationship with food, feel free to keep the conversation going. Drop a question below or let us know in the comments. I'd love to keep chatting with you. Obviously, if you're keen to look at this study that I basically reference whenever I'm quoting that a calorie is a calorie, let us know, and you can obviously check it out in the description of this video below. Yeah, folks, like, stop demonizing food. Like, all food is fuel for performance, happiness, lifestyle, pleasure. So don't demonize it. Embrace moderation, and you'll have an awesome means to be able to approach food and develop consistency irrespective of goals. So do me a favor, if you found the video valuable, give it a like. If you have any questions, comment below. And if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you subscribe and stick around, and you can get amongst all sorts of other sick videos, eating ones, knowledge bomb videos, the works, right? Thanks so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this to the point, simple video. And I'll see you next time in the YouTube world. Peace out.